I listened to a great comedian, a comic episode. I need to find it for you. But a couple of days ago, and I don't remember the guy's name, but he talked about he just kind of signed up for a karate tournament. He thought it was kind of like the UFC, like, no holds barred, everybody goes. It's a 21 man kind of thing. He signed up for it, and he doesn't practice martial arts. And he was like, anybody can sign up. This is awesome. And he's tattooed from head to toe, right? So he looks like maybe a specialized gangbanger of sorts or something like that. But very funny guy. But he also didn't know the rules, right? And it turned out to be a point fighting tournament. And in point fighting, there are a lot of rules and a lot of assumptions about how things go. And it was a great example because he didn't know any of the rules and he didn't have any of the assumptions. And he thought the only goal was to win. So he's paired up against a guy who's probably been doing it for 30 years, but with all of the assumptions. The guy's overweight by probably 50 to 100 pounds, never gets properly pressure tested. Anytime somebody scores a point, they break them, the whole thing. So over the series of, 5 or 10 minutes, this comedian wound up, hit, and the guy also wore glasses to make it worse. So, he didn't know, he's like, well, this guy must be really confident if he's wearing glasses against me. So I better go really hard. And so, no, it's just, they never hit each other in the face. So he wound up in the course of 5 minutes, like kicking the guy in the gut and hitting him in the face. And when he was knocked down, he hit him again, like he just essentially unloading on the guy. And of course, he's got his friends who all look the same, head to toe and tattoos in the bleachers, going crazy for him. And everybody else was like, what the fuck is going on?
Sounds amazing.
So he basically beat the hell out of a black belt. But it's a good example because the black belt in that case represents somebody that he's in his world and he's got great control over it. He doesn't expect to be taken out of his element and put off guard. And it just took one guy that didn't have the same belief system to show him that reality and basically undermine 30 years of his life practice because he doesn't know martial arts, right? And that's the neither one of them do, but that's the problem.
What a clear example what a clear example.
Yeah. And so like within your jujitsu training and I think within martial arts in general, there's this element around so a good assumption is that you can have a scope of competence, right? But you have to define that and you have to know what it is. And the problem is a lot of people practice a lot of techniques and they think that those transfer. And some of them might, but you need to have a scope that is so well honed and that's yours. And you need to understand how to get to it. Because what happens is you're going to be surprised in a fight and on the streets or whatever. And we've even talked about this. You said a lot of fights wind up on the ground. Probably a lot of them do. And there's certain assumptions around how these might play out. But it's really important, no matter what your skill set is, whether you're a striker or a grappler or whatever, that you find a way to get to your scope of competence very quickly. And if you can do that, then a lot of the things that you don't know and can get surprised by, the risk can be mitigated from those things because there are infinitely many ways to get surprised, especially in a fight. And I think it's the same thing in life.